All right. Give me an under the radar player who can swing this game, because it probably isn't going to be Ricky Pearsall.
No, so but I guess branching off of that, I have one on offense and one on defense, and it is, I mean, I actually have two on offense that I want to highlight. The first one, branching off of that, is it's going to come down to Demarcus Robinson or Kendrick Bourne if Ricky Pearsall doesn't play. It just simply is. Like I said, Quinyon is going to. If I'm Vic Fangio and he's done it before, Quinyon would just follow Juwan Jennings. And then, like I said, whenever he's in the slot, he gets DeJean. And you just say, whoever is opposite of Juwan Jennings has to beat Adoree Jackson all game long. I dare you to, is what Fangio should say. And then because he doesn't need to help Quinyon because he's very talented, and he doesn't need to help Adoree because he's taking on Demarcus Robinson. All the bracketed coverages goes to Kittle and McCaffrey. So you really, like, it's all reliant on Demarcus Robinson if Pearsall misses this game to get some receptions. The other offensive one I go to is Dominic Pooney because it's not talked about, but he's very good, and he's been really good since like week 8 or 9. He was really bad in the Falcons game. He came back since then and has been what we thought he was going to be all season. He's pretty healthy now, and now he gets Jalen Carter. And like I talked about, if Trent Williams is banged up or if he misses, Pooney, everyone gets help with Jalen Carter. But if you're asking Pooney to go one-on-one with Carter for a little bit more than you would feel comfortable with it, if he could step up and you walk away and say, wow, what a game from Pooney, he shut down Jalen Carter, maybe you win this game. But otherwise, I think you have a huge issue. And then going to defensively, the biggest one for me is Upton Stout because he can defend the run and he can blitz pretty well. But, I mean, if you're Saquon Barkley and then you get, multiple tight ends out there, they're going to put, and then you have multiple tight ends out there. It's 6'5", 250 Dallas Goedert against Upton Stout in matchup coverage, so can Upton Stout hang with that? Because if Upton Stout can't hang with that, then you have to put a third linebacker on the field. And who the heck is that? Nobody knows. Then you have to put Jason Pinnock on the field. That's a huge mismatch no matter what. So keeping Upton Stout on the field to keep a third linebacker off of the field is game-changing in my opinion. And if the 49ers win, we're going to walk back and say, can you believe that tackle that Upton Stout had? Can you believe Upton Stout held Dallas Goedert to one catch for 17 yards? Something along those regards. So those are my underrated performances.
Like, he has to have a Cooper DeJean-like impact because
Yeah,
Cooper's not coming off the field.
Right.
It's a good call. That's a really good call. See, this is why Parker Rice for me, man. He fucking knows. Pardon my French. He knows the league, and he knows the Niners really well for anyone, especially someone who lives in Pittsburgh. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go with someone who won't be a factor in this game, and it bothers me, and I'm trying to speak it into existence. I'm even asking the coaches about it. Jake freaking Tonges. Because to me, again, like this whole game plan is about, I love how you said eating your veggies. Eric Kendricks used that phrase the other day. I don't know where it came from, but it's so perfect because Kyle likes to gorge out on like filet mignon and like all the great stuff on the menu. But it's like, that's not that game, dude. You got to be real. You have a low carb, low calorie meal here. And it's all about getting 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards at a time. And that's where Jake Tonges comes in, man. He's not explosive whatsoever, but he will make the catches and keep you ahead of the chains. It's got to be a part of the – and, like, you haven't really used him with George Kittle. So these could be all kind of like unscouted looks that Vic Fangio would have to figure out on the fly how to adjust and stop. It's a layup. You got to do it, Kyle. Come on.
That's a great point and a really good one. And like you talked about, I think that's why, like, some people think, I think Shanahan's a really good coach. Some people think he's like a media darling. And it is because he brings that, that sizzle, that steak, that like, oh, what a meal Shanahan just laid out. Oh, that's it. That'll put that in a magazine, put that in a 5-star.
The highlights are great.
Yeah, like it's incredible. But Vic Fangio is, blue collar. I'm going to bring my lunch pail and my PB&J and maybe a turkey sandwich, and I'm just going to beat you, and I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to beat you and beat you and beat you because I'm an old school tough guy. And that's, so it is that opposite contrast. Can Kyle get down in the mud? Because like I said, he has the talent advantage. Vic Fangio has the better players. So now, Kyle, you may have to play his game. Can you get in the mud and play his game and do it, arguably better than him? And yeah, I mean, I saw you asked Kubiak, can you play Tonges a little bit more? He had, a somewhat insightful answer, but it was somewhat of, we just do what we do, which, okay, maybe doing what you do should be adjusting around your scheme and saying, okay, Juszczyk isn't respecting, the coverage right now. Let's get Tonges out there because, we're not running the football very well anyway. So what does Juszczyk as a pass catcher matter compared to Tonges, things like that. So maybe it is, an easy transition. And then it takes away from, you don't need, like I said, Demarcus Robinson is the key to the game. He's a game changer. No, now you don't need that as much because, okay, we put Kittle out wide on Adoree Jackson because Tonges is tight end, and Kittle can beat Adoree Jackson, or something along those regards. So can you get creative? Can you get matchup heavy? It's the playoffs, man. Unload the book. So we'll see.
I totally agree with you about Kendrick Bourne. I'm glad that you keep bringing him up because he was the Jake Tonges of the wide receiver room. I feel like Purdy doesn't have a real connection with him.
Right.
Like that was very much a Mac Jones thing. And whenever Purdy tries to go to him, it seems like the timing is off or something. And he has a much better feel with Jennings or Robinson.
Right. And they haven't had the practice time together that Mac Jones has had years of practice time. Plus, he was healthy when they were healthy and things like that. And he came up huge in that Rams game. And I think the game after that, and just you haven't seen him since. And Robinson, I think you could argue, you didn't have high expectations, but he's been a disappointment this season. He hasn't done a lot of people. He's just a reliable receiver, does the right thing, this, that. Some games you think, does he play? Is he out there? What does he do? There's, sometimes he's not even a great blocker. So you just wonder about Demarcus Robinson, can he do enough? Which helps your take of Jake Tonges should be an impact player.
You could make an argument that Demarcus Robinson's has like a negative impact on the team overall. Like, not that he's been a bad player or unprofessional. It's just that he's 31. He has 22 catches for 276 yards and a touchdown, and he took, significant snaps away from someone who's 23,
right?
And who could actually contribute next year. Like, what was DeMarcus? What was the point? You didn't really use him. He just blocked someone else's development so he could give you 20 catches and a touchdown.
It's like if WAR in baseball, like he has a negative WAR, like he just doesn't. Like, he's not like
better off playing Jordan Watkins,
right? Because even if he has a negative WAR, it's like you're already getting little to nothing out of it anyway. So you're just kind of, like I said, you're just running sprint routes for the most part. So might as well have someone else sprint down the field.